Batman issue 72, Tom King writing with Mikel Janin and Jorge Fornes on the art. So this is an issue which is entirely narrated by a single character, who at first I thought was Batman because of the color of the box, but it becomes clear as it's in context that it's not.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And then it turns out at the end, of course, that it's actually Flashpoint Batman. It's Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint. Who's basically getting him. This is the story of him. I mean, honestly, this issue is mostly a recap of the run.
It's a clip show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some great art out of Janin, some great art out of Fornes, but to Tom King, I know. To Tom King sending out a tweet saying this is the issue where all the answers happen. You, sir, are deceitful.
All of bullshit.
Yes, because there wasn't any answers. This was.
I'll tell you the one thing I did like at the end, because I wasn't super into this issue either, because it was basically just a clip show. It was basically just a recap of the run, and it looked nice, but like there wasn't really much to it.
Yeah, it was even the art was frustrating in the sense that all of Janin's stuff, while very nice, it was just double page spreads. It was just like big images. There was no sequential stuff to it.
No, that said, the one of that represents the Poison Ivy one.
Oh, how did I know?
But no, just the way that is laid out, like.
Did you hear that, guys? Did you hear the noise Matt made when he was trying to describe his feelings for the Poison Ivy page? It was something along the lines of...
It's not just because of Poison Ivy, though. It's the way that... With the forest and just...
I've got a feeling those pages are sticking together in Matt's copy.
No, they're not. I respect my comics. Thanks.
It's only because he read it digitally.
That's a great thing about a tablet. You can wipe it off.
Pete knows from experience. That's all I'm saying. No, just the way that the greens and it's just... Man.
Anyway, so the one thing I like towards the end of this is that I did kind of like the ultimate point that's made at the very end of the narration, outside of revealing who it is. It's like the page before that. Is that I do kind of like that it sets up that Bane's partial motivation for this is the idea is that it's kind of Bane is taking on Batman to prove that he is better. He's basically he's trying to prove that because Bane is better than because Batman.
Yeah.
Because Bane is more eternal than Batman is. I kind of like that.
That's frustrating for me. But
I mean,
the part that I really liked is when the narrator goes, because that's what Bane does. He picks him up to put him down, and then it shows him breaking Batman's back again. And, oh man, break out the magic ropes. You know, because...
I will not take this insult to Dark Knight Rises. Thank you very much. I love that movie.
That's easily the worst thing about that movie. I'll give you that. Anyway, this issue, essentially a clip show. I don't care about Flashpoint Batman. I don't like where this is King going, hey, in case you missed anything, this is my point. Which you kind of did. Like, if you've been following like we have, maybe not everybody has, but
No, I get there's the whole, every issue could be someone's first.
Yeah.
But this is the recap page.
This is a recap of 71 other issues.
Yeah, I don't know why he thought 72 is the one that really needs to be that issue.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I think, honestly, I'm a bit bored by King doing the whole single narrator focus, where there's nothing else in it. He's done that a couple of times now recently.
Yep.
And it never seems to work for me.
I also hate this trope of the villain plotting everything out so meticulously. I hate that trope right now because it pops up all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair. I like a lot of the stuff that Bane planned here. I like a lot of elements of it, but there's some stuff where it's such for this thing to work, you had to have known that this would affect that in this way, and that would affect that in this way. Yep. And it's just it breaks the point of my suspension of disbelief.
But I also like that he kind of had ventriloquist there, maybe planting something telekinetically or telepathically.
The part I did like, I like the idea that he, the whole mission, I am suicide thing. He made them need Catwoman on the team so they'd have to spend time together. I like that part. I like the idea that he put them together.
Yeah. But the whole point. Oh, and then I got Riddler or then you got Riddler to reprogram Skeet, so then Skeets would take him. Okay, one thing goes off in that booster mission, and it's not what Bane needs to happen. You know, like now you're playing with time travel rules.
Yeah, that seems a bit.
That's all. Like Biff's plan in Back to the Future 2 makes much more sense than this. You know.
Yeah. There's so many things that could not go the way he thinks it's going to that it's hard to swallow.
And at first I thought maybe it was Gordon talking to where, and then things start going, because we don't have any resolution of him destroying the bat signal.
Not yet.
You know,
no.
like, but yeah, no.
I'm sure that'll come.
Yeah.
Just a question on the art, the genre page. Obviously, they're all they're the recapping of all the big moments. Yeah. Are they all original images for this, or are they just from earlier in the run? Because some of them are like so familiar that like I'm thinking Bruce and Selena in the bedroom. That one felt like I'd seen that particular image before.
It's from a different angle, I feel.
Yeah, so it's a new image.
But that's why I wasn't sure if they were all
like they were. Because I remember that being more of a higher angle when we got it, or you know what I mean, like it wasn't from this.
That's the really weird thing about this, is that when we talk about clip shows and TV shows, it's this cost-saving thing because they're just using clips from previous episodes. In the comic, it's different because they're not just using panels from old comics; they still have to do everything as if it was a new comic issue.
Because the same thing for the Harley and Ivy and Bruce and Selena. I felt like we got that, but it was closer. You know, it was more of a close up. But like the villains page, that's not the next one. The next one's them
jumping off the rooftops.
The wedding.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. That villains page is gorgeous with all the villains on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a really nice page.
I don't dispute any of these are gorgeous images. It's the same sort of problem we always that we have in the Detective and Action 1000 issues with the whatever the Tomasi story was, where it was all the pin-ups, and I feel the same here. I'm like, okay, they're really nice images, they're great, but it's not storytelling. No. And that's where Janin's strength really is the storytelling.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, this works a little bit better than those, just because at least there's a clear sequential recap to this run. There's more context for this.
Yeah. And the Fortis art breaks it up because it's the fight between Bruce and Bane. But also you have to factor in Holly, and what if they didn't take her there? Like, what if she went somewhere else? She's not there now for Catwoman. What if Catwoman was like, well, I'll take my chances with the whole Joker gambit? Does Bane redo? So I don't know. I'm excited for City of Bane just to see Batman fight his way through, because I kind of do like when Batman's the underdog.
Yeah. I feel like
usually he's not.
I feel like City of Bane is going to be back to feeling more like what those other earlier arcs were like, and I feel like right now all this stuff that's a bit more ethereal, because even though we're out the Nightmares arc, it still feels like we're still doing kind of just like a head inspection of Batman, and
it feels high concept even though it's not.
Yeah. So we'll see.
But no. So I'm excited for City of Bane.
I mean, I like the last issue more. I think this one was just a bit of a weird recap of the whole run so far.
Well, I'm also trying to fit in, where did Flashpoint Batman come from? And how does he factor in?
Well, it's after the button, surely.
Has to be.
I know, but when does he factor in with Bane? And why would he allow this to happen?
Well, that's the ending, though. He's saying, I want in, basically. He's saying to Bane, I want involved.
But by the time of it, when it happens, at what point did he get involved?
Okay, I think so. What Matt is saying, so he escaped Flashpoint.
Oh, sure.
At the end of the button somehow, and then
I think
it's discovered Bane has done all of this without him, and he's like, okay, now I want involved. So when in the last couple of months or whatever,
it's the wedding. It's right after the wedding. I believe that's when this issue goes up to, is the wedding. So I think it's just after the wedding.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess that's where he wants us thinking
Yeah,
why. But at the
because
same time,
we keep saying that this is a recap of 71 issues. That's not entirely true. It's a recap of the
no,
first
it's
50.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
admittedly, that's easy because not a whole lot happened in the last 10. So,
Yeah, I
No.
mean, post wedding, you had the
Cool.
little bit. You had the courtroom stuff.
I like
right?
that. I like that arc.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Even
not knocking the quality. I'm just telling you in terms of plot
No, I'm just
progression.
as you go, I go through them. I'm just saying I like that one.
Yeah. So you had the courtroom. What came after that?
Penguin.
Penguin.
The
That
Penguin.
Okay.
penguin story.
Death of his wife.
It was-
That might not have been his wife.
Sure, but I
I'd
mean,
miss.
didn't really advance anything over
No.
in the overall.
There was
narrative.
the aftermath of, or the Nightwing getting shot, and then the aftermath of that.
Yep.
And to be fair, the issue where he got shot was really good.
Yeah. Well, even the KGB stuff afterwards, where he leaves him to die.
That was not bad.
That's Batman being
Yeah.
pushed to his limits. I like that too.
But it was after that
Um,
we got Nightmares, though, right?
Yep. Because
Yeah,
then he comes
so-
back, fights his way through Arkham, and then finds out that Bane's not moved, and then that's where Gordon decides he's gonna smash with the bat signal.
Yeah. So post wedding, does that in terms of the overall, the 100-issue plot that we were going towards?
Yeah.
There's actually very little of that is post wedding.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So, but yeah, it seems like there's been a lot of issues, but not a lot of time passed in the story.
In the last 6 months, that's absolutely true.
So
It feels like there's
I'm
not
just-
not much has happened, like, because the KGB stuff, and then him going through Arkham to get to Bane, and then like Gordon falling out. I actually like that stuff, but
Yeah.
that was about 10 issues ago now, maybe even slightly more than
Right.
that. So yeah, it's been
I'm so glad this has been double shipping.
it's been
Yeah.
a really
Well-
weird like 10 issue or so block.
So when you break down this is 72 issues, if this is going by the year, it's exactly 6 years. Which you look at any other run, by this time, like Johns was done with his Flash. He was basically done with Green Lantern, with the main part of his story. I think we're in Rebirth by then.
Mm-hmm.
So, not Rebirth, New 52 and
So-
Sinestro.
Yeah.
So you look at these big chunks, and it's kind of like, well, it's been 6 years and not say much. And that kind of sucks. But
Yeah, if you break out in terms of the issue count to compare to, let's say,
Yeah.
John's Flash or Green Lantern, it's
Yep.
getting up there.
yeah, in the bigger scheme of things, someone asked King on Twitter if
The big generational
thing-
changing thing was still happening, and he said it is.
Yeah.
I said absolutely. So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what it's going to be.
I think maybe
But
them
I
getting
don't-
married. Maybe that'll just be the status quo
Yeah.
change.
Yeah. I think maybe
I don't know,
Is
is
it the
that-
death of Catwoman? Like-
Weirdly, I don't know if him getting married is a big enough thing to be a generational shift.
Well,
given
Yeah.
Okay, gets
I
married and
kind of do, but I kind
retires.
of don't.
There you go.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
and retires would be completely different.
That's
that would
yeah.
be a big.
Because who takes over the mantle now that Dick's not there, and
Dick will be back.
do we need a Batman? Yeah. Well, so that's what I always thought about is he stops and we have a Batman Inc. scenario, but we've already done that, so it's not really generational, right? Like
Sure, yeah.
I'm trying to think what could be generational.
He
that
reveals
changes
who he
Batman.
is to the world.
That could be right,
That
but
would
that's
be big, yeah.
but that's easily retconnable. Look at Spider-Man.
I mean,
Or-
everything's retconnable, but like, it's
Yeah.
it's definitely not something we've dealt with in main continuity to a great extent. The
Yeah.
idea that he says to Gordon, "Hey," I mean, maybe it's just Gordon. Maybe he's like, you know what, Gordon, you need
That
to
would
trust
be-
me. Right, I'm
I don't know if
Wayne.
it's worth all of this mess. But that's a great story.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
someone I follow on Twitter retweeted another writer. I think maybe it was Donnie Cates that says like the age of secret identities is past, and I disagree with that because I like that's one thing that sets
Yeah,
DC apart.
it's past in Marvel, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC is still very
And-
secret identity focused.
And I like it, and I like that there's this world where Clark can wear glasses and you don't recognize him. I like that, and I like that, and I also like that over in Marvel you still can have Daredevil as Matt Murdock, and it fits, his secret identity for what he needs to do. But not everybody needs him. Like people can know Steve Rogers as Cap, but I feel like with Bruce Wayne, what does he have to lose that he can't let people know he's Batman at this point?
More just that him doing that kind of outs all his kids. It's not just a personal decision at that point, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
What if the generational thing is the death of Bruce Wayne and Batman keeps operating? Right? That's kind of Dark Knight Rises.
That doesn't feel big enough
Reverse.
to me.
It doesn't, though, does it?
Yeah. Like, that's a fine idea for a plot, but I don't think it's if he's hyped up as this big generational, like, you'll remember this shift in, like, the status quo kind of thing.
Or the death of Batman and Bruce persists. You know? Batman as an idea is done. So,
Maybe. Kind of goes against everything that Batman's ever been.
I think the problem with that is that
King,
I can buy that as a plot. I don't think I can buy them doing that more than a couple of arcs, though.
Yeah.
He always comes back.
Yeah.
You're never at the game.
Because I can see them, okay, we want someone else in the cowl, fine. But there's no way DC go, all right, sure, we won't have a Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no way, yeah.
No.
There'll always be a Batman.
Yeah.
But again, that's something that's big enough that King would have to go above.
Yeah, but they'd never approve it. Their biggest cash cow. No.
Yeah, no Batman anymore. No. Just
This is like Coke and New Coke.
what are you giving it, Matt?
So I was really big on the art. So this is where the conundrum of rating it comes.
He's giving it a 7, isn't he?
I am. Damn you. I was thinking 6.5, but I really enjoyed the art, especially that with the way that it worked with the narration of, Bane picks you up just to put you down.
I mean,
and he hits him with the mother of all backbreakers.
Yeah, kind of what are you giving it?
I mean, a 4. It's not the worst issue, but it's boring, it's recappy, and ultimately just pointless. Like, I could have just skipped this.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar boat to Matt. Like, I like the art a lot. I did like the final sort of like idea that Bane thinks he's is basically as badass as Batman, and that's ultimately like the idea.
Well, he's not wrong. Tell me the lie.
He's trying to prove that Bane out Batman's Batman, essentially, and I kind of like that. But ultimately, it's not necessarily. I mean, that revelation is worth the whole issue. I just don't think the whole issue actually does plot to build to it. It just recaps.
I don't think it's worth the last 6 months with the nightmares and the. Like, it's a great concept if Nightmares was its own thing off to the side, like King's experimental Batman
Just its own miniseries.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. So with that logic, I am going to give it a 6 because really pretty. I don't think there's anything offensively bad about it. It's just not that exciting or important for the most part either.